radar, and the mid-cap on our radar today is Techno Electric Engineering. The stock is buzzing ahead of the board meeting which will take place on July 14 to consider a bonus issue. The MD of the company, Mr. PP Gupta, now joins us to detail a bit more about the company. Mr. Gupta, if we look at your financials, 92% of your revenue comes from the EPC business. So if you could give us the margin breakup of all your three businesses, generation, transmission as well as distribution, what is the kind of margins you enjoy in all these three segments?
You see, basically, we are a niche player in EPC segment in power sector. Generally, our EBITDA margins ranges from 15% plus on an average, you can say, generally. Whether it is a transmission or distribution or generation, they are very similar in terms of the contents and the technologies or solutions involved in them, by and large.
Mr. Gupta, we'll come back to the company's operational performance in just a bit. You know, bonus is a way of largely trying to reward your shareholders. Would you look at some other metrics, perhaps increase the dividend payout? What is the current dividend, if at all you pay? Or would there be any other, avenues, say a buyback, in order to return cash to the shareholders? What is the company's plan in terms of rewarding shareholders?
The company has been consistently rewarding and improving the reward to the shareholders. The dividend payout this year has been around 400%, you can say.
That's in FY16?
Yeah, 15-16.
Okay.
We have paid interim dividend of 250%, and another 150% is proposed as final dividend. Last year, we had paid out 350%. A year before that, we had paid out about 250%. So we at least pay out about 25% of our PAT as a dividend, as a dividend policy. The bonus share is definitely a huge reward to the shareholders. But additionally, our attempt was to improve liquidity in the market for the shareholders, additionally, so that more of our shares are transacted in the marketplace.
All right. Mr. Gupta, so despite giving the dividends, you still have about 300 crores worth cash on your books. So that means that the company is indeed well funded to participate in the tariff-based competitive bidding projects. So are you looking forward to do that? In fact, you were expecting a strong order inflow coming in from Power Grid for the solar park EPC as well. Any development on that front?
No, we are already usually a part of Green Corridor transmission systems of Power Grid now. We are working at 4 prominent places like Ajmer, Chittorgarh, Bikaner, and Tirunelveli. And we are definitely expecting more business from Power Grid. We have got huge business from Power Grid in last 1 year to the tune of about 1,500 crores, first time in the history of the company. So our total order book as of now is about 3,000 crores, and definitely looking forward to a growth period in the company by no less than 30% a year on a CAGR basis.
Okay, so revenue, company's growth could be 30% on a CAGR basis for the next few years. You were looking at exiting your wind business, right, Mr. Gupta? You've already sold 45 megawatts for about 200 crore. And you have plans to sell the remaining 150 megawatts as well?
Yeah, we have on the cards, but let me share with your viewers. This year has been hugely rewarding in the wind business. Not only wind has been good, but even state government has made grid availability very strongly. So our generation is almost double of what we generated last year for the same period. Say up to June, of course, these data will be taken up in the quarter-ending meeting, but they are in the public domain also. We have generated almost about 90 million units as against 40 million only last year. So we see huge gain in the wind business this year, and they obviously will enhance the asset value also going forward. But given a right valuation, we like to exit these assets and invest more in TBCB or transmission assets.
What would the right valuation be, Mr. Gupta? Because you have sold about 45 megawatts at around 50 crores, so the remaining 150 would come out to around 400, 600 crores as well, perhaps?
No. Last year we sold 45 megawatts for 215 crores. So we expect these assets to realize no less than 850 crores on an average further, additionally, for the company.
Have you found prospective buyers?
Yeah, we are in discussion with one or two buyers, but maybe we will see through the season ourselves this year now, because season is so rewarding and so rich. The very bottom line out of wind assets alone will grow by no less than 3 times. Last year, if you don't consider other income, we had a bottom line of about 25-30 crores. So we expect about 70-80 crores out of wind assets bottom line this year, which is usually rewarding.
So it's likely that the sale may not take place this year as well, because the wind...
this year, absolutely, because it is very rewarding this year.
Okay, only if you get 850 crore, then you're willing to let go of your wind assets. All right.
Right, and the very reward on the bottom line also enhances the value of the assets at the time of exit,
Okay, Mr. Gupta, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining in. That's Techno Electric board meeting on the 14th of this month, where they will consider a bonus issue. But that apart, things are going well for the company. They're expecting a growth rate of 30% for the coming years. Their wind business is generating a lot of revenues, and they will look to sell it only if they get about 850 crore for 150 megawatts of wind assets. So that's a business which is also doing quite well, and the company has been consistently rewarding its shareholders. Its dividend payout ratio has gone up from 250% 2 years ago to now 400%, and now you've got that additional kicker in the form of a possible bonus.